All right, we are back with the second game. It's the Indians versus the Raiders. This is the second game for the Raiders out of their doubleheader. So after this, they're done. Indians will have one more game. Let's see what they can do. That's a free play. That is a free play.
The quarterback.
That is a touchdown. The flag was pulled late. He was already in the end zone. Man, what a way to start out this second game for Carlos Perez, who seems to have the hot hand already, and it's already showing during the second game.
Yeah, the defender for the Indians bit on the fake, and the receiver blew right past him. And Perez, constantly just watching the receiver, saw that and just let the ball fly.
So they're calling him down at the 1. So they have not scored yet.
Right there in the open end of the end zone.
And that is a touchdown.
Perez to Fair. Fair just sat down there in the corner. Nobody picked him up until it was too late. Perez saw that and fired the ball. And just like that, 2 plays, 6-0 Raiders over the Indians. Perez with some time.
Just overthrows. That makes the score 6-0. That is 6-0 for the Raiders, who start off fast against the defending champs.
That opening pass play by Perez. Again, he is firing that ball down the field. He stretches the defense. He doesn't really shoot a lot of intermediate passes or short passes, screens. He likes to let that ball fly, and his receivers love that. They will take off on a dime and fly down the field. And Perez usually spots that and fires that ball. And so far today, it's been proven too much.
And actually, the Raiders were the only team to actually beat the Indians last season. The only team, and that was a close game that came down to the wire. The ball is going to be placed about the 27-yard line
Of the Indians.
So they'll start with decent field position, almost equivalent to a touchback. Let's see what the Indians can do.
Let's see how they answer to that quick strike from the Raiders. 2 plays and they were in the end zone. Nice block.
And that is a broken up pass by Santos. And Marcus Van Buren, who was actually the league MVP last season, starts out with an incomplete pass.
Santos smartly putting his hands up and deflecting that ball. For the second down for the Indians. Nice little completion to Brigham. That moves the ball a little bit, but they are short of the first down. They have to reach at least the 40 to get a first down. So this brings up 3rd down and about 3 for the first.
He's just being pressured to the max.
Finally decides to take off with it.
And he's making some nifty moves.
And oh my goodness.
With three people rushing, and he's still, he trailed back about 10, 15 yards.
Yes, definitely.
And was able to get a significant gain. And that just shows the type of athleticism that this guy, Van Buren, has.
Yeah, the Raiders secondary had all his receivers tied up, and he was buying some time trying to see if one of them would break open. And when they couldn't, he decided to just take off with the ball, and he gets the first down for the Indians on the Raiders.
No, it's intercepted. And there is no attempt to even try to get him. And that is a touchdown.
And I'm sorry, but that Raiders defender suckered him into that pass. He played off of the defender, off the receiver rather, and he just waited. And as soon as he saw that ball leave, he broke. And there was no one in front of him, just nothing but empty field. And just like that, the Raiders have extended their lead to 12-0. Once again, this defense for the Raiders is proven to be quite formidable. They had pick 6 in the game prior, so they are really capitalizing on these takeaways, and they're on the plus side of the takeaways on defense. Oh, nice attempt, and just broken up by the Indians defender. I don't know if he would have come down with it inbounds anyway, but that was a good play by the Irving's defender to stay with the receiver and block the ball. So now the Indians will have to talk about, see what they're going to have to do to make a quick adjustment. They don't want to fall behind too fast. They know that this Raiders offense will take off if given a chance. First game, you might know, the Raiders beat the Bears 46-12. And just like that, in the first quarter, it is 12-0 Raiders again on top of the Indians.
See, what I think is that first game was just a warm-up game for the Raiders, and you do not want to get them warm, because when they're warm, they're showing exactly what they can do. And they're just giving it to the Indians right now in the first quarter.
So it is first down for the Indians.
Indians are on offense again. Let's see what the Indians can do this second time. Again, they have no type of blockers. That is a good tackle by number 6. And the Indians making a bold statement with no blockers, showing that they can pass it on just about any team. Well, it's still early in the game, but they have not done that yet. Nifty move by Marcus Van Buren. He tucks it to run. And again, people were having trouble trying to grab his flag.
Oh, and he might have broke for that one, if not the fact that he slipped and he fell.
And he's down at the 10-yard line.
And at the moment, he's not getting any help from his receivers. They're not able to separate from the defenders. and it's making him having to keep that ball and run.
But we have a penalty. Oh, nope. It's the end of the first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter.
So with the end of the first quarter, it's the Raiders 12 and the Indians 0. So they will start with good field position about their own 10. Let's see if they can capitalize off that tremendous run by Marcus Van Buren and punch it into the end zone to keep this game close.
This is the start of the second quarter. And let me see.
Pulls it down.
There he goes. He's taking off. No, he shoots it back across field.
As an incomplete pass.
That was just poor communication. The receiver stopped. Van Buren thought the receiver was going to keep running and just overthrew him because the receiver just stopped running on the route. But you bring him up to second down on the Raiders 10. Oh, nice pitch route. Oh, did he get him? He got him.
He got him just shy of the goal line.
Man, great awareness by the defender for that tackle.
So they're roughly around the 5-yard line.
But it is third down. And like you were saying earlier, Isaiah, they don't want to let the Raiders crank up because the Raiders will run up this score. So the Indians definitely need to score in this possession to try to even...
Oh, and that is a
there
sack.
again.
He tried to spin to avoid that rush, and still great hands by the defender to sack the quarterback. That would knock him back all the way to about the 10-yard line. That's a loss of 5.
And that's a back-to-back plays on good flag pulling. I mean, you might want to have some of these receivers check to see if they don't have any stickum on their hands, because I'm telling you, they are twisting and turning, but them defenders are snagging flags like crazy. Brings up third down from the Raiders' 11-yard line now.
Marcus decides to run it.
And he just sneaks in.
And that is a touchdown. Touchdown run by Marcus Van Buren. We can't seem to find the answer through the air, so he found the answer with his legs. He's been carving up this defense so far, and mainly on the rushing plays.
And Van Buren, there again, showing good athleticism. That's why he was player of the year last year.
Yeah,
He's got a good arm, but he can also run. And like you said, Isaiah, he's not finding the answer through the air. So he won't hesitate to hold that ball and run. And did catch it, but just out of bounds. But the Indians have put points on the board to make this a close game. So now it is Raiders 12 and Indians 6. 40. Oh, nice little fake.
Oh, he's still going.
Here gone.
And that is our first of the season. The first of the season kickoff return for a touchdown by Matt Bolton.
And a nice little fake. He faked that he was going to pitch it, and the defender bought it and stopped. And that's all he needed to burst right past him.
That's going to help his stat sheet.
And this guy is fast. If he gets in the open field, you're not going to catch him from behind. He's got that kind of breakaway speed that just allows him. He's just looking for that little crease, and once he finds it, he is just gone.
And he had 2 touchdowns in the previous game, which just shows.
Oh, he just got from behind.
Just shows what type of players that this Raiders team has. I mean, that was a tremendous run back. So just like that, the Raiders go up 18-6 with an answer for the Indians.
This Raiders team is really starting to get hot. And if the rest of the league is not careful and come up with answers to this defense and these receivers, all of the receivers are quick. They've got breakaway speed. And that's just a lot to contend with when you've got a defense that's on the plus side of takeaways this season. One too many shake and bake moves. He lost control of the ball. He had a good little thing going. I feel if he would have just kept going towards the right, he might have broke it.
So again, the Indians will have a chance on offense to try to match. I mean, it very well could be a score-for-score game. We have 3 minutes to the first half. Let's see what the Indians can do. And that is a nice sack by Santos.
Van Buren tried to shake him loose and couldn't.
And Van Buren, I don't know what's going on. Usually he has some great moves and a lot of speed and athleticism. He's just not showing it in the past 2 series.
And Santos, don't let his size fool you. This guy's got some speed under them legs, and he can move, and he's very good at pulling flags. He's very persistent on defense to follow up with the play. And it showed right there. He stayed after him and he got him down for the loss. There he comes again. Oh, nice catch. Way to bring the feet down. Van Buren completes pass. And it's just short of the 40. So this will bring up 3rd down.
And we are down to the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
Man, these games got to go by pretty fast, don't they?
Oh yeah, well that's the speed of the game. I mean, flag football, there's not much contact, so you don't have to worry about the regular plays of players getting up off the ground once they've been tackled. So it adds a whole new dimension to the game. You know, speed is everything in this league, and you know, a lot of players have been showing that they have that. And that is a completed pass, and that is a touchdown. Van Buren finally threw the air. There seems to be a penalty.
That's coming back. Oh, no.
And yet again, a great pass is coming back. So that negates the touchdown throw. So that touchdown has been called back. And now we're up to see what exactly the return answer for the Indians following that. Let's see if the Indians can repeat that same play and catch the defender off guard and put one in the end zone. That is a great flag pull.
And again, some confusion. There might have been another penalty on that. The referees are gathering together to confer. Let's see what this call is. That was a nice little advance by Van Buren, who again had to keep it.
And we're still waiting to see what the call is. Seems to be 4th down. Guess they just wanted to go over to make sure what down it was, so there's no penalty on that play. And I'm almost positive to see as little yards as they need. I'd be very surprised if Marcus Van Buren doesn't rush or scramble to get that first down.
They definitely have to keep their mind on the clock. There's probably a little bit less than 2 minutes, and he does pick up the first down.
Going through the air, what a good decision. His receiver was all alone. The defender gave him at least a 5-yard cushion, and all they needed was about 3 yards to get that first. So smart move on Van Buren to read that and be able to pick up that first down utilizing his tall receiver.
Right now, with being so close to the end of the first half, the Raiders defense will allow you to get all the underneath. They're going to mostly worry about the long pass and avoid those, but they'll give you the underneath all day.
So we have 1 minute until halftime. And so far, the score is still 18-6 with the Raiders on top.
And I'd be surprised if Van Buren doesn't take at least 2 shots down the field. It is 2nd down. But he's going to have to definitely shoot it down the field if he wants a chance to score right before halftime. And again, he's taking off with it. Santos just missing the flag. Dove for it and just missed him, allowing Van Buren to move the ball all the way down to the Raiders' 25-yard line, I believe, right before he went out of bounds.
These Indians look tired already.
Yeah, they're gasping for air. You see some of the players with their hands on their hips. The Raiders have really been putting it to them. This is third down. They need to get to the 20 to at least make a first down. So this is third down. Van Buren shooting it downfield. Oh, and off the deflection, another interception. I knew that Van Buren was going to try to take a shot downfield in order to try to score before the half.
But he did not want that to happen.
And he threw right into double coverage. There was two defenders there, both, one playing the ball, one playing the receiver. And the defender that was playing the receiver actually tipped the ball, allowing his teammate to intercept right in the end zone.
Now, we saw in the previous game that the Raiders took the ball and scored with 10 seconds left in the first half of their previous game. I think they have just shy of a minute. Let's see if they can do the same thing.
I think Perez is going to shoot this ball downfield. No, he a quick pitch out. There goes Rosa de Cruz. And he's still, oh my God, right between two defenders.
And just like that.
And oh my goodness. He made a little turnaround move as he squeezed right between both defenders, which prevented them from being able to make the tackle and pull the flag. And what a beautiful little run. So now I wouldn't be surprised if Perez shoots this down into the end zone just to end the half with a score. Try to see about going on top, maybe 24 or 25 to 6. Score right now is 18 to 6. And there he goes downfield. And Fair.
And that is a touchdown.
I knew it. Fair and him were looking at each other the whole time. Fair saw that he had one-on-one coverage. He signaled to Perez. Perez let it fly, and just like that, it is 24 to 6 Raiders.
And again, this is proving more and more of why you do not want to give this offense 2 minutes or even a minute at that on the clock before halftime, as they will drive the ball down the field and make you pay for it. When you play these Raiders, you really have to start thinking about clock and game management to try to keep the ball out of Perez's hand. Oh, and that's a rare sight. That is a sack on Perez. Usually he's able to escape a lot of those.
But again, on the touchdown pass, that was just
that
a
looks
beautifully
like that's
thrown
the
ball.
end of the first half. So at the end of the first half, that is 24 to 6 with the Raiders leading the way on top of the Indians. We'll be right back with the second half kickoff of this game. Stay tuned.
Kickoff by 22.
And it's off the tip.
Good pull by number 88 from the Raiders.
For those of you just joining us, it's the Indians facing off against the Raiders. The score is 24 to 6 with the Raiders on top. We are actually in the booth with Chris Johnson.
Cheeky number 52, the one and only.
That is in no relation to Chris Johnson of the NFL.
That's my cousin, second remove.
So as we've mentioned in the first half, the Indians have not had an answer for these Raiders.
Van Buren's been keeping the ball pretty much because his receivers are just not finding any open space. They're not creating any separation from the defenders, and the defenders are just sitting on the routes. And he's shooting it long.
Long deep pass to number 12, and it's touchdown. Good.
And that is a touchdown to Lamar Abraham.
And that time, that was unfair. Fair had position, but he let him
So
get
the
behind
Indians look like they made some adjustments, and they answer and come out of the gate quick. You're now looking at 24-12, and we'll see if they choose to go for the 2-point conversion or the extra point.
it. Looks like they're just going to go for one. Yeah, it looks like they're going for one.
Let's see if they can capitalize on this extra point.
So they are indeed going for the extra point. Marcus Van Buren seems to know where he wants to go with the ball before the play.
Snap. No rush. Has all the time in the world. Waits.
He
Takes
really-
off. Beats 1, beat 2, beat 3, and he's good.
And
And
he
that is
does
good
take
for
it
the
in
extra
for
point.
the extra point.
So that now makes it 24-13.
And you don't want to ease up if you're the Raiders. They have been struggling today, but the Indians are the defending first season champions. So they do know how to come from behind and win. So you can't start letting them build any kind of momentum in this second half.
Ooh.
And Santos
Oh,
gets the
Santos
ball.
with the run.
Santos running. And gets him up almost to the 40-yard line. So they'll be taking over. Let's see how they respond to that quick score from the Indians to open up the third quarter. So it is first down. And Perez dropping back, avoids the rush. Nice little run, the tackle by Van Buren on the Indians' 36-yard line. So again, the speed of the game, the clock continues. And he's still moving. And again, Van Buren with the second tackle. This will bring up third down. They must reach the 20 in order to get a first. Perez drops back, scrambling, and a nice tackle. The Indians seem to be trying to change the momentum. The defense is being a lot more assertive in this second half. Defense talking to each other, trying to make sure they're in the right coverage. Perez having a problem, but he's letting the ball go. Right there. They're going to count it as an interception. Yes, they do count it. That was a pick. And the Indians are slowly starting to try to turn the momentum of this game. So let's see if the Indians can capitalize on that turnover. They need to be able to score again to close the gap on the Raiders, who are leading 24-13 at the moment. That is offsides by Santos. The offsides by Santos. That was a free play and the offense just stopped. Van Buren scrambling. Santos behind him. He fires the ball. He's got a receiver. The receiver's going. Nice little move to the inside. And finally, Fair gets him down right before the 20-yard line. Nice little pickup by the receiver. Nice awareness of Fair to pull that flag and prevent a touchdown. The Indians right now in the hurry-up offense, they're running out of time. So they got to get into the end zone and try to get their defense a chance to get the ball back. And just overthrows the receiver. And Buren scrambling. Santos just misses him. And again, the Indians managing to capitalize on the pick from Perez and drive it in for 6. Van Buren, a quick release. And he dropped, he was wide open and dropped the extra point. But again, off that interception from Perez, the Indians able to capitalize on that, drove the length of the field and closed the score to 24-19, making this a one-possession game. So for those of you that are just joining us, this is game number 2 from a 5-game day that we've got planned. The Raiders, this is their doubleheader. They played and beat the Bears in the first game. They are winning right now against the Indians 24-19. The Indians scoring on their last possession. Now it's up to the defense to try to stop the Raiders and try to see if they can tie this game up. That is the end of the third quarter with the score Raiders 24, Indians 19. Nice little pass play from Perez. Good enough to pick up the first down. The Raiders, who had taken a good commanding 24-6 lead, have been scored on and now seem to feel that sense of urgency in the fourth quarter, knowing they cannot allow the Indians to get back into this game. Oh, and a nice concentration. Nice way to concentrate on the ball. The ball was actually deflected, but the receiver stayed with it and got possession of it, and that was just a beautiful catch. Perez completely overthrows everyone. All the receivers are covered, so he just threw that away. This will bring up second down. Perez with a nice little scramble takes advantage, takes it in for the score. Making the score 30-19. There's some confusion on the field, whether as to the runner was down or not. That touchdown run by Perez, set up by that beautiful catch by Bolton. It kind of reminds you a little bit of Cole Beasley or the Wes Welker slot type receiver. Hard to cover and very quick once he gets the ball. And the failed extra point makes it score 30-19 in favor of the Raiders.
30-19.
Time running down on the Indians, who look like they're starting to kind of implode. They're starting to get upset and letting their emotions get the better part of them. They need to keep their heads in the game because they do have the firepower and they do have the team speed to get back in this game and score quickly. They just need to keep their head in the game. Raiders kick off. And he drops the ball. So the play will take from that point. We'll start from that point, which will be the 22-yard line of the Indians. And just like that, the Indians can drive the field one play and they're within scoring distance. Just like that, all it took was that one play. So now if they can just punch it into the end zone, Van Buren will take off with it. Penalty will cost the defense 5 yards. They were offsides. So brings up second down. And nice concentration by the receiver. So that is touchdown for the Indians. Making the score 30-25. They're just going for one. Nice defensive play. The receiver had the ball and he knocked it out of his hands. So the score remains Raiders 30 and Indians 25. Indians will be kicking off. Ball taken by Santos. Pitches back. A nice tackle in the open field. So the Raiders will take over at their 30-yard line, 35-yard line, I believe. But right now, if you're the Raiders, you just want to start thinking about eating up this clock. Go with the little short intermediate routes, handoff runs, the quick dump offs on the screens. You don't want to give the ball back to the Indians and give them a chance to go ahead of you in the score. Raiders have plenty of time.
That is a sack.
So the Indians wisely call a timeout to stop the clock. Trying to conserve as much clock as possible. Hopefully being able to hold the Raiders, not let them get a first down. If the Raiders get a first down, the game is pretty much over. And again, Perez sacked behind the line of scrimmage. The Indians' defense, the pass rush is getting to Perez now as they feel a sense of urgency to get the ball back into the hands of Van Buren and hopefully win the game. Van Buren with the tackle from behind. This will bring up fourth down. So the Raiders are electing to punt. And it's going to be close. Last time Van Buren on the long pass play was able to get the ball into the end zone and make the score within 6 points, 5 points. So now the Raiders have called a timeout. Why would you call a timeout if you're an offense, you're ahead? You would think they would like the clock to continue. But they have elected to punt. Now I guess they got their play together what they want to run. We're going to punt. And depending on the return, now the Indians do have the ball back. This is probably going to be their final possession. So they have to score. They are down by 5. They have to make this touchdown in order to win the game. keep the ball. The Raiders right now definitely playing over the top. They are letting him have all the intermediate. But they realize if they let that ball get downfield, which Van Buren can throw the ball a mile, that it could cost them the game. So you've got the safeties playing almost 15 yards back, trying to prevent anything deep.
There's 5 seconds left. This is basically the ball game right here. Van Buren, he's going to have to heave it all the way into the end zone to have a slim possibility of chance to get back in this game and take it from the Raiders. Now he's got a lot of size that he needs to really look at going to his biggest receiver and just letting him make the play.
He's going to have to let this ball fly.
And they're going to be gunning for him.
Nice.
That is
catch.
an incomplete pass.
Nice complete pass.
And the clock stops. And they might have an opportunity.
This is
I
what
thought
you
there
like
was
to
5
see.
seconds left. There's 5 seconds left of the play clock. So it seems they have a little bit of time. So the defense really has to buckle down right now and prevent this touchdown.
And it's so much harder to get the ball in the end zone passing because the field gets smaller and smaller. And the Indians trying.
They got to be more aware of that game, the game clock. They're running out of time. That is incomplete. And that is the ball game with the Raiders winning their second game. It's a lot closer than they wanted to, but still, they pull out the victory over the Indians with a total score of 30-25. Indians still have another game later today, and the Raiders are done and go 2-0 on the day to improve to 3-1 on the season. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the kickoff of the next game.